Hey y'all, and welcome to Politabrawl. My name is Brian, and Marjorie Taylor Greene goes to war with this smug, arrogant Democrat witness who starts laughing when NTG brings up abortion. This woman might be a sociopath. I'll let you decide.
I'd like to remind everyone that while we're talking about white supremacy, Miss Spittleneck, you were talking about white supremacy.
It's Spitalnik.
Oh, I apologize, Spitalnik. Miss Spitalnik, while you were talking about white supremacists and abortion, I totally agree with you. There's a lot of white supremacists in the abortion movement and abortionists because they have murdered over 20 million black babies in America since Roe versus Wade in 1973. That's on average 900 black babies are aborted. They're ripped apart inside their mother's wombs. So I would agree with you. That could be labeled white supremacy, or we could just label it murder. And it should never be happening. So if you want to talk about white supremacy and the abortion movement, you should really analyze that in your human rights groups that you run as you collect donations from people with your nonprofit. Because I think that is something extremely important to talk about, is the right for those black babies to have lives as American citizens, the right for them to be born, the right for them to be given a chance to live as free Americans instead of murder. You think this is funny, Ms. Spitalnik? Is this funny to you? Is babies being murdered in the womb funny to you? Because you're smirking and laughing at me right now.
What's not funny are the black people and Hispanic people and Jewish people and Muslim people who have been murdered in synagogue, in church, in supermarkets, in mosques by white supremacists.
Are you aware that all colored people are murdered? That is a fact, that every single color person has been murdered. That's not unusual. It's not just that people of color are murdered. White people are murdered too. Murder is not just for minorities. That may be a shock to you because you seem to dive deeply into all kinds of misinformation and seem to be uninformed yourself. But if you're going to talk about white supremacy and abortion, you need to study very hard about who the targets are. And it's not just black women, and it's not just black babies, it's Hispanics as well. And I think that's important for you to understand. And if you apparently care about human rights and you care about studying extremism, let's have a little talk about extremism, shall we? I think that's important because that's what this hearing is all about. I'd like to inform you, or maybe you don't know, maybe you do know, I doubt it. You mostly care about white supremacists and white-wing extremism. But there's quite a pattern of left-wing violent protests on college campuses today. Miss Gaines here was a victim of it. Do you support what they did to Miss Gaines? These trans terrorists chasing her into a room, do you support their movement?
I am absolutely sorry that Ms. Gaines felt threatened and unsafe while she was on a college campus, and that's not acceptable. But again, the statistics tell us that when it comes to politically motivated violence, in 2022, every single murder was committed by a right-wing extremist.
Every single murder in America was committed by a right-wing extremist?
Every single politically motivated murder was committed by a right-wing extremist.
Are you sure about that?
I am.
Are you aware that the Tennessee shooter just recently identified as a man and she was a biological woman? Was she a right-wing extremist as well?
I don't believe you. No, really, I do not believe that set of data points. Why? Because in 2023 and early 2024, there were a suspicious number of, let's just say, events where people had written manifestos and then committed disgusting, horrific, violent acts, or people that have done things that in a similar vein, and maybe they haven't written a manifesto. But all of a sudden, you're going to start to notice that a pattern starting to arise. That the right-wing extremism is on the sharp decline and left-wing extremism isn't just on the rise. It is just massively exploded. And here's why. Simply put, Reddit is a machine for leftists. Tumblr, same thing. And when Tumblr went down, they all went to Reddit. And it's just an incubator of insanity. people who basically have not gotten over the traumas of being a teenager, mainly because our education system is garbage and does not allow kids to be kids. And they run to the internet and get radicalized. You see all the issues on college campuses? They're already incubators. That's just where you see it happen. Hey y'all, I just wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. Their experts understand exactly what they're doing with gold, silver, and other precious metals, unlike our current leadership, which is giving us rampant inflation, terrible Federal Reserve policies, a president that doesn't know what planet he's on, and of course, an out-of-control Congress that won't stop spending. We have to figure out ways to keep our wealth safe. And the best way to do that is to go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group, because their experts can help you diversify your portfolio, and they've got an amazing offer for first-time accounts. Free gold, silver IRA accounts, insured storage for 5 years, up to $7,500 in silver delivered directly to your home, and a safe to keep all that stuff in. So go over regardless and see what they can do for you, and protect your wealth and your future today. Now, back to regularly scheduled programming. All right, you see the end result of these incubators, particularly from the website Reddit. A lot of their subreddits are full of leftist, communist propaganda, and it radicalizes kids. And then the education system feeds into it. And so they get to college, and that's where they're able to finally espouse their views in full view. They don't have to worry about their parents coming up to them and say, hey, what you just said is wrong. We don't believe this. Where did you get this from? I can say that in my own life to some degree. My parents are shocked by a lot of what I have or sometimes used to believe in, because they weren't the ones teaching that. The schools weren't teaching that. It's not just the schools. It is the messages that we get subliminally from Hollywood as well. It's what you hear in the media. It's arguable that you see this on PBS Kids networks now. Ultimately, that's one of the issues of extremism. But there's something else going on in this video too. Something else that's truly disgusting. And for the record, no, I don't think this woman is a sociopath. But laughing when you are talking about abortion, the reason why she's laughing is because in her mind, Marjorie Taylor Greene's making a ridiculous extinction. But this is one of those bell curve moments where Marjorie Taylor Greene says something that sounds kind of dumb, but it turns out to be completely true. The origins of the abortion movements, particularly Planned Parenthood, come from a very vile human being. Margaret Sanger, I believe is her name. And she believed that black people were inherently inferior, and she believed this from a left-leaning perspective. This was the left-wing progressives. And she founded Planned Parenthood and openly supported the, I don't want to say chemical castration, but supported movements that would get black families to not have any more kids, so to speak. And as a matter of fact, her writings were so influential for the naughty boys of Germany, so to speak, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about, that they got their theories from people like her. I repeat, the progressive movement to push abortion ultimately enabled Adolf Hitler. That's where they got a lot of their ideas from. And post Roe v. Wade, the black community has had multiple just atomic bombs be dropped upon their communities. The ending of Roe v. Wade might have been one of the dumbest decisions. Sorry, not the ending of Roe v. Wade. The passing of Roe v. Wade might have been one of the most catastrophic pieces of legislation not legislation, but most catastrophic thing the federal government could have done to America. We are now in a population decline. And that's why we have so many illegal immigrants now. That is the reason that they want all these people in. We are not, it's not that they want to replace people. The great replacement theory misses the mark. It's in the ballpark, but it is happening in the sense that we don't have enough people to pay for Social Security and Medicare. So we must import these people in order to fill the roles. That's why we do this immigration. That's why we've had such such a problem with our southern border. So that's what's going on here. All right, MTG is trying to steer the conversation, if you will, away from the original point, but she's still right in saying that the study that this lady is quoting cannot possibly correct. It can't be correct. There is no way 100% of the time something happens like this. Not in the human condition, not in the in these United States. There's no way that it's 100% of the time based on one side. It's just impossible. It's a statistical impossibility. And it's absolutely asinine to think about. So that's what's going on here. That's the whole issue with the abortion issue. That's why MTG is talking about Black Americans that have been removed basically from this planet because of the abortion debate. And it's why the extremist argument that this lady is making is absolutely asinine. That's what's going on here, folks. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politbro. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.